G'day! In today's video I'm installing a WD Blue SN550 1TB NVMe into the MSI Sword 15. So to begin with, you want to make sure your device is off. We will disconnect the battery while we're in there. And next you're going to have to flip it over. And as you can see, we have various Phillips head screws, also one factory seal here, which in Australia means virtually nothing unless you fry your machine while opening it. So to begin with, let's start by taking out these Phillips head screws, which so far they look to be fairly stubborn and don't want to leave. Destroy that seal. I'm just going to have to be on the side of caution when I open this so all my screws don't go flying everywhere. While we're in there, we will discuss what potentially can be upgraded. So this screw actually wanted to leave. Another one that wanted to leave. So most of these are wanting to leave, but they're being a bit stubborn. Now I'll move it over to here. And what I'm going to do now is get in between the plastic trim corners. I'll start in the front corner right here with a thin pry tool, and I'm just going to slide down. Should be able to twist as well, if need be. There we go. Keep working my way around it. I accidentally push it closed. Yeah, that screw's not wanting to leave just yet. One more down here. There we go. Now, looking at the back here, the plastic does wrap around up to the top by the looks of it. There we go, and we're in. So looking at the board here, even though it doesn't actually mention it supports it, there's a 2.5-inch drive right here, which is a bit odd, considering it was never mentioned on the MSI website. Over here we have the battery, which I am going to disconnect. So I'll zoom you guys in on there. There we go. I should hopefully just be able to use my nails and wiggle this back. Worst case, slightly pulling on the cord and wiggling it should also free it up a little bit as well. In this instance, it's being very stubborn. So I'll grab a pair of tweezers, put it into that gap that's there, and push that back. No, unless it's a tab. No. There we go. So that freed it. So looking at the battery here, what have we got? Rated to 52 watt-hour battery in this machine. And to install the M.2 is very straightforward. First, unpackage this, and we have our drive. Now, usually make sure you touch metal before you touch any of the circuitry. So touch that, earth myself. There. Undo the existing screw. This will only fit one way into here, so it's pretty straightforward. Little notch here matches up to there. Slide that in, push it down. Put the Phillips head screw back on here. And that is now installed. Granted, I will have to load up disk management initiate the drive and format it to be actually have it usable within Windows, but that is the physical installation. You can also, from here, you reconnect the battery, put the back cover back on and proceed. While I'm here, I'm going to check out and see what else is going on. So we have one spare M.2 here. We have 152 milliamp hour battery. Oh, watt hour battery, my mistake. Also, oddly, we have a 2.5 inch drive here, which is not advertised on the MSI website. We have one textured Kingston drive, which this is the first time this machine's been opened, so it's very bizarre that that's got texture on it. Some stuff does happen from the factory. Number one I'm seeing texture here is on this speaker that's down, my bottom firing speaker. Where else have we got texture? So if I can try and read the model on here, we are a 512 gig Kingston. I can't see an exact model number on there. Also, we have an Intel AX201 NGW wireless card, so that is upgradable, but being that already supports Wi-Fi 6, there's really not much point changing that at all. Then let's move on to RAM. So let's have a look and see what RAM we've got. If you are wanting to do a RAM upgrade, do make sure that your battery is disconnected as well. So we've got a brand that I'm not actually too familiar with. UKCA, no, SK Hynix. Good job, mate. Anyway, we're an 8 gig PC4, 3200 megahertz, or PC 3200. Assumably they're going to be a matched pair. Yep. Also do note on this that these do have a bit of almost like a thermal property. It does feel thicker than a normal, just a little flap that's normally on here. When you do go to install your RAM, do take note of the little notch. There'll be a notch here, and it will just fit in, slide in on a 45-degree angle, push down, and now we're clicked in. So from there, you'd be right to reconnect your battery and continue. So I did just have a slight interruption, but looking here, where you can see where the copper cooler is going. So over here we have the GPU, the 11th gen, the 11800H. As you can see, there is various texture markings here. Do have a bit more of a bracket brace almost going on over here. We've got two copper pipes going over here, with these ones making connection just as well from the GPU. So the GPU itself has 3 coming from it, but then there's a third going over what I'm assuming is either the VRAM or the VRMs. So it's definitely a very end-covered cooling on this one. The fans themselves, I'm pretty sure this one here does look to be smaller than the processor. So I'm assuming that's just the actual virtual space. That was what they decided to go with. If I do find a measuring tool, that will find me the bit of the size of it. So I'll zero this out. And I want to find out how wide this is. So I have roughly a 4 centimeter fan here. If we go over here, we are slightly larger. So the slider goes over. What do we get? I think that's out of spec. Very. There we go. What do we have? So a 4 centimeter fan versus 6 centimeter fan, or at least that's the amount of exposed area that it's got. So definitely a bigger fan that we have in there. But from here, I'm essentially done what I wanted to do. So I'm going to seal this back up. So remember to reconnect your battery. Let's do that in just a second. So now I'm going to reconnect the battery. Also, one other thing to note is the size of the actual charging port. So here, if your charging port is damaged, it is actually replaceable, which it's, even funnily enough, got a connector, a very large connector. Granted, it is putting out 180 watts of power through it, so it would have to be decent. Also, looking over here on this side, we do see a rather large thermal pad underneath the NVMe. Now, before we seal it up, let's have a look on the underside of of the bottom cover, which I'll try and keep those screws in place. It's actually got a fair bit of weight, and the vast majority of it is right here, which if I lean this down a bit more, this pad here. So I'm not sure why that has got considerably more weight to it, but I'll be willing to bet. I can drop all the screws, dropped all the screws, dropped a handful of screws, clear them out of the way. One fell on the floor, that's not what you want. And anyway, back to where I was saying, the vast majority of weight is right here, which this does look to be just a plate of metal. It's not actually anything in particular. And this is just going over this side here. I'm curious if it was making contact up here, but it does seem to be just purely over this section here, which is really weird. Anyway, put that aside just for a sec. Now let's get this back together. So we'll have to lean it over the back on a bit of an angle. Lay it down, push. And that's how you can upgrade the RAM and the NVMe 2.5 inch drive, or a few other different components on your MSI Sword 15. Hope that helps you, and see you later. Bye.